Pictures are shocking. A boy, about 10 years old, gun in hand, appearing to execute two men said to be Russian spies. It's the latest propaganda video from the Islamic State. CCTV cannot independently verify the authenticity of the video. The boy is believed to be from Kazakhstan. He has appeared in previous ISIL videos training with other young boys. And children are being used for more than just propaganda. A bomb strapped to a girl of about 10 exploded in northern Nigeria on Saturday, killing at least 16. Authorities believe Boko Haram was behind the attack. This 14-year-old once carried a machine gun and fought with ISIL. He has since left the group, but would not allow his identity to be revealed. He says children make easy targets for terrorist recruiters.
ISIL prefers young children more than adults because they can convince children and wash their brains.
And once recruited, he says children make obedient soldiers.
If the prince orders a child to slaughter his father, the child will do it without hesitation.
Terrorist groups often show young people in their videos, and in 2014, ISIL presented young boys to a reporter from Vice News.
A plea from UNICEF to help starving children that it says are likely to die before the end of the year. The UN's Children's Agency says hundreds of thousands of children in Borno State, in northeastern Nigeria, are affected by severe acute malnutrition. For years, that whole region has been plagued by the Boko Haram insurgency and a lengthy drought. And UNICEF is warning quite simply that time is running out. It estimates that without vital aid, 49,000 children will die this year in the Lake Chad area, and another 475,000 are at risk. About 1,000 people, mostly children, have been moved to a special centre for medical treatment. But UNICEF says it needs money to address this crisis. It's appealing for just over $300 million. But funding has to this region been historically low, and UNICEF says it's only received about 41 million, about 13% of that total amount that it needs. And to add to the problem, Nigeria has recently seen a resurgence of polio. 2 cases have been identified in displacement camps in Borno State, and now the World Health Organization is launching a mass immunization campaign in that region.
With North Korea's apparent development and advancement in weapons technology, South Korea is rethinking about its submarine fleet as well and in advancing them. Many experts say Seoul should move to acquire nuclear-powered subs to better prepare for the possibility of a North Korean attack. Lee Min-young has this report.
Military experts are urging South Korea to add nuclear-powered submarines to its fleet to counter the threat of North Korea's submarine-launched ballistic missiles. According to the Defense Ministry, the South Korean Navy has a total of 16 subs, with 14 of them currently active. That leaves it severely outnumbered by North Korea, which is believed to have 70 subs or even more.
North Korea threatened to aim fire at the lighting equipment used by provocative American and South Korean troops at a truce village inside the demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. The North's Korean People's Army accused U.S. and South Korean soldiers of deliberate provocations by aiming their lights at North Korean guard posts at Panmunjom since Friday evening.
Russia has deployed troops and Marines to the Crimean Peninsula amid an ongoing large-scale snap drill. The Russian armed forces have started a week-long military drill involving 3 of the country's 4 military districts. The drills aimed at checking their ability to beef up forces and defend Russia's interests amid growing security threats. Tensions between Russia and Ukraine have been escalating since early August, when the Russian Federal Security Bureau said it had thwarted a series of terrorist attacks in Crimea. China's Air Force has announced reforms on its defence strategy in an attempt to strengthen its airspace offensive and defensive capabilities. The reform covers a wide area, including the improvement of anti-missile systems, air defence alerting systems, airborne battle tactics, and electronic warfare technology. The country's PLA Air Force spokesperson, Shen Jinke, says China has also developed many advanced surface-to-air missile systems in recent years.
Some scandals are so massive that they're simply hard to believe. But this one is true. As many as 1 million white English children may have been the victims of Muslim rape gangs, better known as grooming gangs, in towns up and down Great Britain. Policy analyst George Igler.
I mean, when you counter an issue that is just so unbelievable, just so outside your frame of reference and understanding, the immediate human reaction is just not want to believe it at all.
Perhaps even harder to believe is that while there have been prosecutions, British authorities have still not stopped this criminal activity.
Federal Office for Migration and Refugees Frank Jürgen Weiss says the country is gearing up for the arrival of 250,000 to 300,000 asylum seekers. Weiss also says if the number exceeds the estimated figure, it will put further pressure on his office, adding such a scenario would be unlikely. Germany registered some 1.1 million refugees in 2015. Germans are divided on the issue of asylum seekers as a number of anti- and pro-refugee rallies have been held in the past couple of months.
We're also following a disturbing story out of central Mississippi where a manhunt is underway for the person or persons involved in the murder of 2 nuns.
Authorities say Sister Margaret Howd and Sister Paula Merrill were found stabbed to death inside their home yesterday. Both were nurse practitioners. They spent decades caring for the sick and helping the poor.
The suspect charged in the killing of 2 Roman Catholic nuns in Mississippi confessed to the murders, according to the sheriff's office. Police say 46-year-old Rodney Sanders confessed to the crime during an interrogation. He gave no reason for the crimes.
The death toll in Italy's earthquake continues to rise as residents and visitors come together to mourn those they have lost. At least 290 people were killed in the disaster. TRT World's Sarah Jones reports.
35 coffins, some belonging to children as young as a year old. Hundreds gathered to join a state funeral for dozens of victims of the earthquake which hit central Italy on Wednesday.
The Kansas City area was flooded late Friday after a 3-hour downpour. Officials said it forced emergency services to conduct about 10 water rescues in Missouri's largest city. The National Weather Service issued a flash flood emergency notice to the Kansas City area for the first time ever on Friday night that went into Saturday morning. The flooding had receded within the urban center later on Saturday, but rivers in more rural regions north of the city were still overflowing.
Parts of the Kansas City area still underwater today. Sky Tracker flying over Mosby this morning. That's just northeast of Liberty. You can see plenty of water there. Even parts of Highway 24 near Northern Boulevard shut down because of lingering water. Today, people in Westport salvaging their belongings after the area was one of the hardest hit in the metro.
More than 4 inches of rain in under 2 hours. Now, much of the town of Braceville, 65 miles southwest of Chicago, is underwater.
There's water in the house. It just started coming up from underneath the flooring.
South Florida is bracing for possible floods. A system that could become a tropical storm is churning off the coast, threatening the region with several days of heavy rain. It comes as the Miami area is struggling to contain the Zika virus, spread by local mosquitoes, which can breed in just a bottle cap of water.
The Zika virus has gotten a foothold in Singapore, according to authorities in the country. Health authorities said Sunday they've identified 41 locally transmitted cases of the virus, and so far, these cases in Singapore might be the biggest inroads the virus has made in Asia. Cases of local transmission have also been confirmed in Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. The World Health Organization says the virus has also been detected, though not necessarily locally transmitted, in other parts of Southeast Asia.
Serious concern in a Nassau County community. An outbreak of mumps in Long Beach appears to be getting worse. Good evening once again. I'm Maurice Dubois.
Welcome back to the broadcast. I'm Christine Johnson. We first told you about this outbreak 3 weeks ago.
And now the health department says the number of cases has doubled. CBS 2's Sonia Rincon has more on this health alert.
We started seeing cases in July, and to date, we have 36 cases of mumps.
Japanese authorities issued a warning for a potential measles outbreak after a fan attended a Justin Bieber concert east of Tokyo on August 14th with the disease. A 19-year-old man attended the concert at Makuhari Messe in Chiba with a 39°C fever and a rash on his body after visiting Indonesia earlier in the month. An official at Japan's Health and Welfare Ministry said measles could lead to a fatal case.
This is one of the tallest buildings in London. It towers over the city skyline.
In a promotional video, startup company Lightvert outlines how the UK capital's Shard building can be used as the world's biggest advertising display. By running a tiny reflective strip, high-tech images can be projected directly into people's eyes.
On Friday, Judge Thomas D. Schroeder of Federal District Court blocked North Carolina from enforcing a transphobic law that insists people use the restroom that corresponds with the sex on their birth certificate. He ruled that the University of North Carolina must allow 2 transgender students and a transgender employee to use bathrooms that match their gender identity, not birth. He stated the court has no reason to believe that an injunction returning to the state of affairs as existed before March 2016 would pose a privacy or safety risk for North Carolinians, transgender or otherwise.
There's been a lot of talk about gender-neutral restrooms recently, with politicians and celebrities alike weighing in on whether or not it's safe for women, men, and gender non-conforming people to use the same bathroom. Many conservative politicians seem to be confused about how exactly gender-neutral bathrooms work. Step 1. Find a gender-neutral restroom. Most likely, it will be difficult to find, unclearly marked, or placed in an inconvenient location. Step 2. Once you find the nearest gender-neutral bathroom, check to make sure that no conservative politicians are following you.